Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be making a super easy and delicious recipe, which is Mexican calabacitas or zucchini. I'm going to add a little bit of a twist to it, so stay tuned. I will leave all the ingredients in the description box below. First thing is first, we'll be roasting our tomatoes. We're going to be roasting 3 of them and a serrano pepper as well. And here's a serrano. I'm going to leave the little stem on it so I can turn it and not get burnt. Well, I cut the zucchini. I'm only going to be using 1 zucchini because it's only for me and my husband. So I feel like we don't need that much. I just cut off the ends. I have problems. Don't mind my weirdness, you guys. Because I frequently have problems where I just like to cut things a certain way or do things a certain way. So let's talk a little bit about this dish. It's something simple for a weeknight. I made a short on it. I mean, if you guys want to go watch it, you're more than welcome to do so. I will link it on this video so you guys can see it. So since it's only me and my husband, I will be using 1 zucchini. And for the sauce, I will be using 3 Roma tomatoes, the serrano pepper, some onion, because, you know, can't make anything without onion, in my opinion, of course. Strictly my opinion, you guys. Like, don't quote me. But it's simple for when you have a busy day. You can make this in 25 minutes or so. Maybe less. So, now that the calabacitas are cut up, I will throw this away in a little bit, you guys. Now that those are cut up, I'm going to cut up the tomatoes, 2 tomatoes, that are also going to go in with the calabacitas. It's going to be yummy and delicious. You guys have nothing to worry about. The first time I tried this, I was like, I never tried this before. But I truly like it. And I love how simple and easy it is to make. Originally, I learned how to make it because my husband can't eat pork or beef. So I thought it'd be a good way for him to have some veggies. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in a bowl until I am ready to use them. Well, let's cut off the little end pieces because I don't know. I tend to cut them off. Okay, this tomato's really ripe, but it's gonna be great for the sauce. You're gonna need some salt, some chicken seasoning, a tiny bit of olive oil, or oil in that case. I'm using olive oil. But you could use whatever oil you have on hand. I also have some chicken breast that I cooked the other day because I made green pozole for New Year's. But I have leftover chicken because I didn't put it all in there. It was a lot. So I decided not to put it all in there. Now I will be cutting, well, first I will be flipping this pepper and the tomatoes because, we can't have things burning around here or getting too charred. Okay, so now I'm gonna be cutting some onion. And we'll be cutting the onions like into little squares. And placing them in the bowl with the tomatoes. And I always leave the little ends off. Guys, I have an onion problem. I'm the type of person that thinks that when you don't use onion to cook, the food doesn't have much flavor. I know I could be wrong because not everybody likes onion, but I feel like it's something simple, something inexpensive that gives the food a good amount of flavor. So I use a lot of it. My husband says that I use a lot of onion, which I do. I am very guilty of. But I just enjoy the flavor. Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I like cooked onion. I don't like raw onion. Raw onion's like more of a... Maybe if it was purple onion, it's fine. But other than that, I don't like other onion that is not cooked. Now, we will be putting the tomatoes that we've roasted into our blender. I don't peel them or anything. Yes, you can. But I don't mind the charredness. I really don't. I took off the little stem of the of the serrano pepper. Now I will be grabbing a water because my husband's kind of weird. And we use a lot of bottled water. I will be adding some, not too much, just a bit, so that the blender will blend. You can add other veggies and things, but today I'm not going to. Now it should look like this. And we're gonna start to cook. First thing is first. I will be getting a pot. And putting it on my stovetop. Kind of like a stock pot. A small stock pot. Okay. And we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pot. We're going to add the little bit of olive oil. You could add corn to this. You could add many things, but today's a simple day. We're going to put this on medium-high heat. And we're going to wait for the oil to heat up, of course. And then we will continue. You're also going to need a bit of cilantro at the very end, which I do not have out at the moment. But you will need it at the very end. Okay, so right about now, we're going to be adding the tomato and the onion. The tomato and the onion. And we're going to give this a little mix. And then we're going to wait for the onions to start cooking down. Once they do, we will add our blender mixture. And this is what's going to give it a great flavor. An amazing flavor at that. But I think I'm going to put the heat up to like medium high because it's 3 something. And my husband will be home around 5 o'clock. I also want to make him some rice and some refried beans to pair the dinner. But I don't like to cook everything at once because my house gets a little hot. So I tend not to do so. I cook an item by an item a lot of the times. Especially during the summer. Even though we just got through with Christmas, you guys. I know it took me a long time to do a video. It's just, I've been all over the place. But I hope you guys had a great holiday. And I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you guys could smell that it's only onion and tomato and it smells so good. It's deliciously amazing. Hopefully, one day you guys will try it and you guys would like it. I mean, I sure hope so because I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this. I move it constantly because the tomatoes are ripe and I don't want them sticking to the pan by any means. I wanted to use them up. So I kind of planned this meal since last night so that I could use up the tomatoes that were in the fridge because I just bought fresh ones. And I like to utilize what was there previously before I stock up on new produce, or at least I try. You know, it doesn't happen like that all the time, but I try. If you guys try this recipe, please let me know down in the comments below. I just want to be nosy and let me know if you guys tweaked it a little bit, or if, I don't know, if you would like to do it but a different way. Let me know how. I would love to know your opinion and thoughts. At this point, now that the onions and the tomatoes are starting to saute, I want to add a little bit of salt. Because you always got to season, like every step of the way. I'm not saying a boatload, just a little bit. I mean, you could add corn, carrots. When I want to, I add some corn. But guess what? Your girl forgot to buy corn when I went to the grocery store. I mean, it happens to anyone. So, no corn for today. Now I'm going to be adding the mixture that's in the blender. I need to make sure to, pay attention whether this is tightened or not. Because I was like, oh my god, everything just fell out. Now, we're going to let this cook a little bit. I will be adding just a tiny bit more water so that the calabacitas get covered, but not like a lot of water, because I do let it reduce a little bit while it's cooking. I crank up the heat a little bit because I don't like it like too with too much broth. I like it a little on the thicker side. It's funny because when I first started dating my husband, I wasn't a fan of cilantro. One of my sisters could tell you, like, cilantro wasn't for me. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more salt. As you can tell, it's not much, just to kind of start seasoning it. I'm not adding any pepper because we did add the serrano pepper. Yeah, I was right. The serrano pepper, and it gives it a great flavor. Now, I will cover this for, I want to say, maybe 15 minutes or so. And then I will be adding the calabacitas with a little bit more water. Again, not too much. I need to add a little bit of chicken seasoning. Yeah, I do have a spoon in here, you guys. Because I tend to buy the bigger containers. Only because I don't have to continuously buy it every month. The chicken seasoning lasts me quite a bit. So it's not something I have to purchase all the time. Even though sometimes I overstock on certain items. Not many, but certain ones. Plus, I'm trying to eat more a little lately. Because my husband says I don't eat as frequently as I should. She's probably right. I'm gonna stir this every now and again. And I will be back. When it's time, now that some time has passed, I want to add the chicken. So that I can start getting all the flavor of the onion and tomatoes. So that's what I will do next. I'm gonna be adding this chicken that was already shredded from when I made pozole over the weekend. Guys, I'm filming this a few days after New Year's. So now we're gonna mix it all in, And the chicken is not flavorless, guys. Don't think that, oh, you just put boiled chicken in there. No. I boiled the chicken breast with onion, a little bit of salt, 2 cloves of garlic. So the chicken has good flavor. It's not flavorless. I promise you guys. It's actually super delicious. Now that the chicken is all mixed in, we're gonna wait a few minutes. Like 2 minutes. Just to give it time to absorb some of that delicious flavor that's already in the pot. Alright, another minute. And we'll be adding the zucchini. The zucchini, we're going to cook it for about 15 minutes. And then we will check it and see how it's going. But once we add the zucchini and a bit of water and try it for salt, we will be putting it down to, like, on my stove is like number 2. It's the one before low. And we'll leave it there for 15 minutes and then we'll come and check on it. Check the tenderness of the zucchini. And then if it's tender enough, we will turn off the stovetop, put some cilantro, and cover it for 10 minutes with the burner off. And the zucchini will finish cooking the remainder of the way without the stove being on. You guys, this is an amazing, easy recipe, and it's a good way to get some veggies in. Because I'm not a big fan of zucchini. But when I tried this was totally new to me. I loved it. And then, because I'm not eating at the moment, I will show you, after the zucchini is cooked, I will show you what it looks like in the pot. And then when I serve my husband, I will record that too, so you guys can see the plate completely finished with the rice and the refried beans that I plan to serve him. But this is going to be amazing. Okay, it's time to add the zucchini. Now I'm going to make sure the zucchini gets coated in this delicious, delicious, delicious sauce. You know, it looks kind of dry, but I will be adding a bit more water and salt, of course, to taste. Just till the zucchinis are covered, and then that's how we'll be serving it today. Okay, let's add the tiniest bit of water. Just to make sure that all of those zucchinis are covered. And as this cooks for another 15 minutes, most of the liquid is going to evaporate. But we will make sure that the calabacitas are completely cooked. Sorry, I keep calling them calabacitas. The thing is that I'm Hispanic and I like to speak Spanish most of the time. So we will wait for this to cook. Let's try it for salt. One last time. Here we're going to add a little bit more, only because we're not going to salt this anymore. And I only put a little bit to begin with. because I've learned that you can add, but you can't take it away. So, another little splash for good luck, like they say. Alright, we will be covering this and letting it cook for 15 minutes. So, see you guys then. Now that the 15 or 20 minutes have passed, the calabacitas are tender. They actually don't take long to cook. And as you can see, they're still, it's not dry, you know, it has some liquid to it. We'll be adding the cilantro that I cut up. And remember, you guys, I wasn't a fan of cilantro, but turns out it's not half bad. Plus, I don't add like a lot to like overpower the flavor of anything. I just add enough so that the flavor is there. Look at this, you guys. This is delicious. Look, let me move out the way. It is delicious and it smells super good in here. I will be covering it once more and I will be leaving it alone and I will not be touching it any longer. But the stove is off completely. When I serve my husband the plate of food, I will show you guys the finished plate because it is amazing. Anthony officially likes Mexican zucchini or calabacitas, which is the same thing. That's what he's eating with some quesadillas.